Hello, MGTOW. Hello, men. This is Howard Dare. Thanks for stopping by. So, good morning. And I'm just coming on live here because I've had a lot of trouble. I've got some things I want to talk about, and thanks for stopping by. I've been having trouble getting my live stuff going properly with public Wi-Fi and, temporary problems, things like that, cutting in, cutting out. So, I'm just going to move forward and figure that everything is going to take care of itself moving forward rather than me just trying to, hold everything up. Now, very interesting. Pretty much every morning that I wake up, this is funny actually, I have a new MGTOW idea. I usually have a few of them. And I usually, at this stage, I don't make the videos and I don't go live with the ideas. I just toy around with the ideas and then I move on to a new idea. And maybe I'll talk about it, maybe I won't. But I don't want to do that. I don't think that's adequate. I think anything that's coming into my mind, is for the most part worthy of speaking about from a MGTOW point of view, not anything that comes into my mind. That would be silly. But from the MGTOW point of view, yes, it is valid. So what I want to talk to you about this morning, and it won't be long, is the difference between an acute condition and a chronic condition. The difference between acute poisoning and chronic poisoning. The difference between your culture changing with the times versus your culture becoming infected with a kind of mind virus, a kind of meme that in the long term will destroy your culture. Now, you hear the word culture and you're like, I don't really care. And I understand, right? It's a little bit above us and, bigger than us. We just have our individual lives. But no, in this case, I'm talking about the environment in which you live, the environment in which you socially interact. And if this gets undermined and undercut and new values and new principles are put in there, then you have essentially lost your culture. And that's what's happened, okay? Your culture of freedom and individual rights and self-determination and motivated self-interest. These are great things. These are the tools of progress and human growth and life itself. Okay, this is what life is. You struggling, coming up against obstacles, you overcoming those obstacles, you feeling the confidence that you get from doing it, and then moving on to new things. Now, the feminist and, the extreme false progressive leftists would say that everything that you're doing is just a grab for power that you are not really entitled to, that you have usurped. But it's not. The things you're doing are just for you to build a good life for yourself. They are the expression of individual freedom. So it's an important stage that, we're playing on, that we're working on. And it comes down to your individual life. Now, here's the thing. Here's the concept that I just want to get across to you. And I'm sure many of you already have this, okay? Listen, if you're getting poisoned, all right, God forbid, but it happens. And you're, of course, thinking of, and I'm, of course, thinking of, like an intentional, attack on your physical being. But that's okay. We can use that. So if you're being poisoned, and it's chronic poisoning, meaning they're just giving you a little bit at a time, and it's going to build up over time, okay? You're not going to feel it. You're going to wake up in the morning, and you're going to say to yourself, I feel, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2% worse than I felt yesterday. And you're going to say, and there's no explanation for it. There's no reason for it. It's just, the vagaries of life. And you're going to go about your day. And the next day, if you feel the same that you felt the day before, which was minus 2%, you're going to think to yourself, well, this is how I felt yesterday. I'm not back to how I felt the day before, but it's not bad. One sec, please. And this is going to go on day after day, right? Just feeling a little bit worse. As a matter of fact, after about a couple months, and after now you're down from, say, 100% down to, say, 80%, when you wake up in the morning and you feel that, you're operating at is 80%, but because it was many weeks ago, you're going to think this is the new normal. That's it. This is how you're supposed to feel, because this is how you felt yesterday and the day before. You're not going to remember from 2 weeks ago, and it's going to build up. And this is chronic poisoning, okay? This is what arsenic does. Arsenic, now compare this to acute poisoning, okay, or an acute condition and problem. So you're going to go to sleep one night, and you're going to wake up the next morning, and you're going to be 20% less effective. You're going to be in 20% more pain, okay? There's no way to ignore it. There's no way to deny it. You're going to take some serious steps to deal with the situation. That's not what's happening to you. That's not what's happening to men. That's not what's happening to our culture, okay? It gets that way. This chronic condition, this chronic cultural poisoning, okay, builds up, and it becomes an acute condition until suddenly, socially, they're saying to you that the transsexuals can go into the children's bathrooms. And that this is, diversity, and this is normal. And, you're like, what the hell? That's crazy. But it's not crazy. It's one step more. It's just one little step further. Okay, so you're dealing with a culture and a society and a majority of the people who they themselves have been culturally poisoned. They are no longer their own best supporter, okay? They're actually their own punisher, their own torturer. What's happened is the ideas that govern what we do with modern media, we can spread them across the world in a day. No problem. Previous to this day and age, do you want to know what the best computer in the world was? The best storage device in the world? And it actually still is. The individual cell, okay? There's so much information within our DNA. Every cell in your body has the blueprint to rebuild the whole body. That's a lot of information, okay? And it's biologically stored. Like, if we can figure out how to store things on a cellular level, and we are working on that. Our storage capability and our retrieval capability will just, it'll be ridiculous. So up until this time, that was it. That was the storage device for information, DNA. Now you invent the computer. And now you can store and sort information at a speed and a scale that we could never do before, okay? So now you have this cultural space, this mind space. And you can interject any of the ideas that you want into this mind space, and they will spread across the world very quickly. And if they're good, and if they have the right hooks in them, this virus will infect. It's a meme, okay? I'm talking about memes. This virus, this meme, will infect the world. And your culture, your environment will be undercut, undermined. It could be enhanced. It could be improved. And this is happening in a chronic manner, okay? They're not standing up and saying, okay, we're going to put everybody in prison camps and we're going to make sure that everybody does what we say that they do every single moment of the day because we know what's best for you. They're not saying that. They're saying, can we just do a small part of this? Can we just say that there is no such thing as biological sex? Can we just say that? Can we just say that gender is a construct? Now, to a degree, it is. But see, this is where philosophy kicks in, and this is where how can I get this to you? I'll get back to it. I will. So understand that the cultural mind space, the culture itself, is being confiscated, and it's being done so with chronic poisoning, with chronic insertion of maladaptive ideas that have good hooks on them. Okay, this is a politician appealing to your anger. Okay, unfortunately, this is also media videos appealing to your emotions and your anger. There's a reason why I don't do certain types of videos that would get a lot more views, okay? I could care less about some entitled princess girl dancing around on TikTok talking about how she wants to marry a millionaire, even though she doesn't have a high school education and she doesn't even clean up her own room. But she's very pretty, right? And that, she's probably going to get it too. Another fascinating thing, and I'll pretty much just leave it at this for this morning. The content creator Just Pearly Things. She's a young woman. I think she's British. And, she is like #1 on hashtag MGTOW, right? So to a large degree, she's blowing up. And of course, I'm like, I should be blowing up, but that's okay. That's not really what I'm interested in. But the interesting part about it is that it's a young woman. She's okay. She's fine. Whatever. I got no problem with her. Talking about men's issues. She's talking about men's issues. Okay. How retarded is this? Can I come onto YouTube and give advice on birthing pain? On how women can give birth? Of course not. That's the most retarded thing in the world. And yet, here she is. Like I said, I got no problem with her. And she's #1 on hashtag MGTOW. What does that tell you about your culture? What does that tell you about your cultural mind space? Okay? That a child who knows nothing about the issue is the most popular spokesperson for the issue. And the people who do know the issue, who have lived through the issue, who have struggled with the issue, someone like myself, like a lot of you guys, no attention whatsoever. It's like asking somebody for directions to a place that they don't know how to get to, but they love being the person who gives directions. A lot of young people, they want to be famous. What do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to do? And the answer is, I want to be famous. And the next question is, famous for what? And the answer is, of course, I don't care. It doesn't matter. So could you, so like they want to be rap stars, they want to be media stars, they want to be YouTube stars, right? I'm outdoors people. That's how deep my commitment is to the MGTOW message. Is my audio okay? Brothers Dare. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, everybody. I really appreciate it. So where was I? Where the fuck was I? What was I talking about? So I'm getting older, right? And yeah, the memory's going. But these, like Alzheimer's and things like that, these are degenerative diseases. We bring them upon ourselves by not taking care of ourselves. And yes, you are being chronically poisoned. You were never meant to eat grains and leaves and things like that. You can, and they'll keep you alive for a while, but they're not ideal. Look, the human body can run on alcohol. Okay, that's what happens. Okay, the person becomes they're drinking all the time, and the body says, okay, this is poison. This is toxic to me. What can I do with it? Can I please turn this into some energy? Can I please turn this into some building blocks? And so the body tries to break it all down and do that. And what it can't do, what it can't break down, what toxins it cannot break down and use for energy, it stores in the fat. This is why it's kind of dangerous to eat some of the meat, because the meat has been fed grain and corn and soy and given antibiotics and growth hormones. And these toxins, okay, that the animal can't process, it gets stored in the fat. And, we consume the fat and then we get exposed to this stuff. But it's 1,000 times better than consuming these toxins and poisons directly. As I said, it's not an acute poisoning. It won't wipe you out, but it will take away 1 or 2%. And it will do it over time until eventually, you're walking around, at 60 years old, with absolutely no muscle tone, with absolutely, with brittle bones, with no memory, and in constant pain. But if you'll get off of your carbohydrate diet and get back to a protein and fat diet, you will start to heal up, assuming that you haven't done, too much damage so far. And that's the way I'm looking at it. So what I'm eating now is I'm eating scrambled eggs. So look, I'm not perfect, okay? I still have a teaspoon of sugar in my coffee in the morning, okay? So I'm not talking about craziness. I eat about 4 eggs. There's about 7 grams of protein in each egg, but that doesn't mean that we have access to those 7 grams. We probably only have access to about 4 of those grams. And then there's the question of, will your body perform the protein synthesis that it needs to do anyway? And if, bad diet, not in good shape, it's going to be a hard time, doing that. And then there's the whole question of nutrient partitioning. Your body gets these nutrients. It says, yes, give me, there's protein. What am I going to do with it? Where do I put it? Do I put it to build bone and muscle and strength? Or do I just waste it away? Do I just digest it out? Can't use it, don't want it. That's what happens too. Excuse me, I'm hydrating. Good audio. Thank you, Pulaski Bob. How's my friend One Fast Stack doing? There's a lot of good guys here in MGTOW. You can tell that they care about the men, and they want to, make a positive difference, and they want to have a positive difference made in their life. And then, you see the bad times and the hard times come to, as it comes to most all of us. And you say, what can I do? What difference can I make? So please show your support over there at the One Fast Stack channel and to all the aspiring MGTOW channels. Something very weird happens when you get a larger channel. Once you start getting up at around 10,000 and things like that, your views, they're important, okay, to the algorithm. They're not important to me. They're a little bit, but not too much. And if you put out a video that, say, gets 5,000 views, and it's a video of, say, a dancing young woman complaining about men, and you have a certain thumbnail design that attracts good attention, then you put that video out, and it gets you your 10,000 views in a day, okay? It's a smaller channel, so it's pretty good. Now, the next video is very important because if the next video can do a little bit better, whether it be on average watch time, whether it be on click-through, whether it be on impressions, the algorithm will promote it more and more and more. But if it's worse, for any reason, maybe it's longer, maybe it's just not a popular subject, whatever, the algorithm will see that, and it won't promote the next one as much. So you get stuck in this trap of, whatever seems to work to the algorithm. If you don't keep doing just that, you lose your advantage that you have with the algorithm. And so the channel starts churning out exactly the same video. Same format, same layout, same length, same subject, same way of approaching it. every time because they have to improve. And now their job, their business, what they're doing is not bringing valuable information to the people. No, their job now is maintaining a popular YouTube channel. One sec. I was watching a video by a content creator by the name of Moon, M-O-O-N. That's all he calls himself. These are well-produced videos about important social economic issues. Things like why China is falling, why PayPal won't be around in 2 years, why Facebook is the most evil business in the world. And they're very, they're analytical, they're thoughtful, and, they move and they're entertaining. Pretty nice. I think like one person might write them and another person might then create the motion graphics and things like that. I think, but I don't know. But I'm watching, and he's making all these great points, he's getting to these great points, and every time he comes to one of his major points, guess what happens? That's right, a YouTube advertisement kicks in, So the impact of the whole thing is largely lost. Now, he mentions his own sponsors, like little way into the video at the appropriate time, he'll say, and I want to send out thanks to such and such a company for sponsoring this video. This is the service they offer. It's a, it's a good service. Check them out. And, here's my code and you'll get a discount. So he does his own advertisement, which is pretty much what, you have to do in this day and age, unless you are, of course, repeating the status quo and poisoning people. But the advertisement, it messed up the videos, man. It messed up the points. It turned it into something else. I remember as a kid, I loved watching the Dracula movies, the Hammer Dracula movies with Christopher Lee at the theaters, and I enjoyed them. And as I got older, I stopped going to movies so much. But I still liked the movies. And from time to time, they would come on television. And I would be like, ooh, Blood of Dracula with Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing. And I put it on to watch it because, I remember it kind of. But it wasn't the same. They weren't as good. And the reason why they weren't as good was because every time you came into the moment that they were trying to create, the horror, the fear, they would put on a commercial. It's like every time before the comedian delivers the punchline, there's a commercial break. And then after the commercial break, he comes back and gives you the punchline. And it's like, no, this doesn't work. So the idea that I'm just directly speaking to you guys without any sort of advertisement, it works just fine for me. And the idea that I'm unable to bring, a lot of video and media to the situation because I'm pirating Wi-Fi outside, that's okay too. That's not the critical issue. I worry about the idea of a lot of new MGTOW coming in and just complaining about women. You know what I mean? So it's like, well, you're still, utterly focused on them. I think that men should be focused on themselves and building themselves up and building, a community of like-minded men around them so that they have a support group. I don't think that we're supposed to be, alone and isolated and then no help in life. I don't think that that's right. I don't think that we're supposed to do that. And I think that that's being pushed on us from, a chronic poisoning point of view. Hit the like button, 22 online. Thank you, Singletown. Rhino, you doing a stream later? Yeah, go check out Rhino's channel. I had gotten some good email from him. And I'm just not in a position to do a lot of things here online. Basically, all I can do right about now is just come on, do my little talks, and then, get out. And, geez, if I even had a video that went viral, I don't know that that would be good for me. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. Okay, Red Pill Rhino says, yeah, the one he did on TikTok was disturbing. Yeah, I guess you're talking about Moon. And yeah, it was, because China owns it and they're mining, your data. It's gone from demographics to psychographics. Okay, so, not only are you modeled on a demographic point of view, but you're modeled on an individual point of view. And I don't know. Is that a violation of privacy? I don't know. Like, we may not know your name, but we certainly know where you are, your age, geographically where you are, what things interest you. And then we have all the demographic information, race, age, income, education, all of that. But maybe we don't have your name associated with it, but we know your location. That's a lot of information, people. That's too much information. And understand, you can't process this information without computers. Okay? You don't have the storage capability. You don't have the manipulation capability. You don't have the searching capability. The human mind cannot do what we are doing now with information. Okay. Good stuff. That's annoying as fuck. Cliffhanger entertainment. Exactly. Well, they're doing it, to get their advertising across. But go check out Rhino's channel. Support the other MGTOW. What's this one here? Yep. Almost like all of them leak. 2.4 gigahertz turned exactly to water. Probably no bueno for people. Yeah, very interesting. So China, is controlling the telemarketing over in Africa. Yeah, I think I learned this on a Moon video. So, yeah, there's just endless expansion going on there that's not going to turn out really well, but while you're expanding, it all looks good. So that's my message, okay? You're being poisoned a little bit at a time. It's cultural poisoning. It's confiscating your culture, and your culture is based on ethical values of things like individual rights, self-determination, motivated self-interest. And these are the engines of human progress and of human life, okay? Not convenience, not getting what you want whenever you want it without exerting an effort. That's not human life. That's something entirely different. And it leads to a terrible place and to a terrible mindset. So you need to get back in touch with your primal self, okay? You need to get back in touch with the things that give your life meaning and purpose. And you need to hold on to those things and build those things. And MGTOW is here to help you. I'm here to help you. I'll talk to you guys. You know what I mean? Also, I'll set up time, talk with you individually. And I won't charge you or anything. I'll just try to help. Now, if after I do that, hey, you feel like you're helping out the Howard Dare channel, that's a good deal too. That is the best way to do things. So, if you get some value here and you can afford to help me out at this time, I could really use the help at this time. The state isn't letting me get a job. They're not letting me work. This is all I can do, and I'm really not supposed to do this. Lots of trouble, people. But so I really need your support right now. Hopefully I can get back up, to citizen level, and then I can truly express, my freedom of speech. But for right now, no, I'll just have little impromptu talks that I'll put out to the group and that I'll have with you individually. So let me know what you think about this. And I'll come back on later on today, maybe even later on this evening, and I'll do this again because, if I can do this for the next week or two, it'll get better. And that's all I want. And that's all you want, a little improvement, okay? I don't care how many push-ups you can do. Find out how many push-ups you can do, okay? Do as many as you can, 5 short of failure, okay? So if you're getting up there at around 20 and you're like, yeah, I could do 5 more, but this is really hard, then stop. Go 5 short of where you need to be, okay? And then do it 2-3 times a day. Do those 20, do those 30, whatever it is. And over the course of a week, you will, of course, find that you can now do 5 more before you get to that, failure level. And that's all you want. That's all you need. If you can get that, you can get better, you can improve, you can get strong. And that's a great feeling. That's an important feeling. Approval of the group, not so important. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that for now. Let me know what you think about all of this. I'm sorry I didn't get to spend more time, in the comments section talking with you guys, possibly bringing you on, but we'll get to that with more practice. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and donate. Chris Mitchell is here, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Emperor of Canada, okay? I can't quit just yet. This is the Emperor of Canada. Now, some of you may know, and please, I didn't want to tell this to Chris. To be an emperor, you need to have 2 countries. There's no such thing as the emperor of, boom, 1 country. This is why Napoleon was able to call himself an emperor. Now, if you just have 1 country, then you're a king. Okay, but if you have 2 countries, then you can be an emperor. But don't tell Chris any of this because I don't want to upset him. If he wants to be the Emperor of Canada, I'm just fine with that. I also think that Jordan Peterson should run for Prime Minister of Canada. And I left that on one of his videos. I left a comment over there. People are like, yeah, that's right. So what do you think about that? Jordan Peterson running for Prime Minister of Canada and replacing Justin Trudeau. That would be cool. I'm looking forward to finding out the election results, too, as to what happened today. A lot of them are still too close to call, which I believe is them trying to steal the elections. All right, so we got a lot to talk about, and a lot of stuff to cover. I'll come on later on today, and we'll talk about that, see if I can get more than 21 people in here. I appreciate everybody's support. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, donate, and join me again, Howard Dare, as I plan to have more content for you. Thank you, MGTOW.